This episode of Ask Athena and Julie Anything provides a clear and concise discussion to maximize the value of a home before the home debuts on the market. The National Association of Realtors shared that 81% of buyers cannot visualize space, so only 19% will be able to see past a home that is not properly prepared for sale. We will share the top 10 must-dos to get the highest price in today's market. The podcast SoFlo Real Estate Show, designed to be informative while also engaging for listeners and viewers who might be navigating the complexities of the housing market. Welcome to the SoFlo Real Estate Show, Ask Athena and Julie Anything, the podcast where we break down the essentials of home ownership for the first-time buyer and the seniors and homeowners alike here in South Florida. In today's episode, we will dive into everything you need to know to make your home shine. I'm your host, Athena Chilicas Barrocas. I'm an award-winning realtor with Coldwell Banker. And today, we're going to tackle the crucial topic for anyone looking to sell their home: the top 10 ways to improve home value before your home goes on the market. So whether you're a homeowner or an aspiring real estate mogul, these tips will help you get the most out of your property. Joining us to share their expertise is my co-host, Julie Dinda of Radius Financial Group. Welcome, Julie.
Hi, Athena. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to dive into this topic and help our listeners boost their home values.
You know what, Julie? Before we get started, let's share what's always on everybody's mind. What's going on with the interest rates?
Exactly, right? Interest rates are trending downward slightly as of this month, particularly with the Federal Reserve considering the cuts to the federal funds rate. So this is largely driven by cooling inflation, slower economic growth, and those would be in the sectors of manufacturing, construction, things like that. The Fed is expected to announce a quarter-point rate cut during the next meeting, with potentials for another cut in December, depending on those economic conditions. So mortgage rates have also decreased in response, with the average 30-year fixed mortgage now around 5.75%. However, further significant declines are expected to be a little bit more gradual, because what happens is the markets, they anticipated already that the Fed was going to be doing these actions. So they kind of like dropped it already. So they're not going to be significant drops, but there still may be more drops coming.
Well, that's great news, Julie. 5.75 for a 30-year today is a lot different than almost 8% a few months ago.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, absolutely. Everything is headed in the right direction. Well, today I love this topic because it is so relevant, especially today when homes are sitting on the market a lot longer. We are not in the unicorn years, and homes are sitting a lot longer than they had been just maybe 3-4 months ago. So we are in a very, very different market. You know, one of the statistics, Julie, that I love and I wanted to share because it's so relevant is a NAR statistic that says 81% of buyers cannot visualize the space beyond what they're seeing. You know, Julie, that means that only 19% of buyers are capable of repurposing space, color, and usage. That is incredible to me. So, I know we're going to dive into the top 10 items, but I wanted to give a little bit of a stage of where we're taking this discussion today, Julie. So if you don't mind, I'm going to take up a little extra time here today. So, I was showing a home this past weekend, and actually I was showing about 3 or 4 homes to this great client I have. And we walked into 2 homes that I just stood on the curb going, this is not going to be good, right? This is not going to be good. But let me just share one home that kind of encapsulates my whole experience with my clients. And hopefully it'll be a learning curve as we go through these 10 items. So we walk into this home, and it's a large home, 4,000 square feet, under air. It has 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, gourmet kitchen. It has a beautiful outdoor living space with a pool and a out summer kitchen. It was a summer kitchen, outdoor kitchen. Everything we love in South Florida. This home had to offer. But let me give you the real scoop on what this home had to offer. It was very chunky. The space was it was, what would you call it? I guess outdated, antiquated. A big office in the front of the house, which was probably about 100 by 200 feet. We're talking a humongous space, right? Four different types of flooring. The color of the wall was cinnamon, 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 cinnamon. Crazy, right? It was just crazy. The ACs were making noise. The one upstairs smelled like something was burning or dying. It was horrible. And then there was a couple of rooms that were freshly painted, baby blue. And they didn't cover up, they didn't patch holes, they didn't do anything. So this house was just, the synapses are going. You're trying to figure out what's going on with this home. Walk out, my clients said to me, "We can't take this home. We can't even consider it." I said, "Why?" "We don't understand it. There is so much work that needs to be done at this home that this is not the home we want to invest in." Wow, right? And I thought this is a perfect story for setting up for why it's so important for homeowners who are getting ready to sell their home to really invest in a few items that are going to bring them the top ROI, more money in their pockets.
Yeah,
So, Julie,
that's
have you seen homes like this on the market?
yeah, you know what? I'm actually looking at homes too, and it's hard to really know what's important to get fixed and updated because that improvement money, it goes quick.
Yeah, it does go quick. And so you're right. To your point, you have to, as a homeowner who's getting ready to sell their home, concentrate on those items that is right for your home, that is not going to cost you a lot of money. But the other thing I want to go into is the importance of staging too, which is also an investment. And we should go into a staging podcast another time, Julie. But, prepare your home and then stage your home, whether it's a virtual staging or a physical staging. But are we ready to get into this, Julie?
Let's do it.
Okay, we have a lot to cover. So let's start with the first tip. The number one way to improve your home's value before listing it.
Okay, so our number one tip is to enhance the curb appeal. I don't know how many times, like, there's been a situation where someone just doesn't even go in the house because they're like, nope, we're out. This is the first impression buyers will get. So you want it to be a good one. So you start with the basics. Make sure the lawn is well manicured, the garden beds are neat, and the front door is clean or even freshly painted. Adding some potted plants, maybe a new outdoor lighting, that can also make a huge difference.
Yeah, super good tips. You're right. I've had buyers go, "Oh, I don't want to go in there." And it is just like, "But the house is going to be great." Yeah, I know, but look at the outside. I don't want to go in there. And again, we're going back to that NAR statistic of 81% of buyers cannot, they just don't have the capability. They cannot see beyond what they're looking at. Painting the front door, Julie, and new hardware. What a difference that makes. And we're talking about a minimal amount of money for that simple improvement.
Yep, absolutely.
So let's get on to number two. What's another effective way to boost a home's value?
So just to kind of piggyback off of that, I think it's refreshing that interior paint. A fresh coat of neutral colored paint can actually make a space feel so new and clean, which is exactly what buyers are looking for. Stick with colors like beige, gray, or even off-white. They appeal to actually a wider audience and can make rooms look more spacious.
Great tip. Those neutral colors are fabulous. One of my favorite colors is alabaster white. Alabaster white seems to go with every single home type. It's a neutral color, it's pretty, it's clean, and you're right, it does what exactly it's supposed to do. Open up the house and make it shine. So I love that. What's our third tip, Julie?
I would say to upgrade your kitchen and bathroom fixtures. You don't have to do a full remodel to actually see improvement. Just swapping out old faucets, cabinet handles, light fixtures for modern ones can actually give these spaces a fresh, updated look without breaking the bank.
I love that. Some people go, I don't want to spend, 15, $20,000 remodeling my bathroom in order to sell the house. And I get that. You should not be spending 15 to $20,000.
Especially
However,
because what happens is people come in and they're like, they don't want a dark kitchen. You just did all this stuff. They don't want a dark kitchen. They're going to rip it all out and do a white kitchen. You're like, I just did that.
it's true. We don't have the same taste as the
Yeah.
buyer. So neutral, open, clean, a little bit of bling, and you're good to go. So thank you for that. So let's go on to our fourth tip that makes the biggest impact.
Deep clean your home. And I don't mean you have to do it, but just get it done. This includes everything from scrubbing your floors and carpets to washing your windows, removing any mold or mildew on the outside or even the inside. A clean home feels more inviting and actually can help buyers see the property in the best possible light.
Yeah, absolutely. Hire a cleaner that they have the move in, they have the move out. They come in one day and it's done, and the house is sparkling clean. And buyers love a sparkling clean home to look at. Definitely important at making a good first impression. All right, Julie. Number five.
So, your fifth tip is to declutter and depersonalize, removing personal items like family photos or knickknacks. It helps potential buyers envision themselves living there instead of you living there. Also, clean out all that unnecessary furniture and make your rooms look larger and more open.
Yeah, great tip. Going back to that house I was describing, you won't believe this. They had bar stools there. They were ripped. The foam was coming out. They had a dining room table that was probably their mother's mother sitting there with, you know,
It's like,
three,
just
four
get rid
chairs
of it.
versus the six chairs. It was just a hot mess. So,
Yeah.
yes, I definitely agree with you. Clutter free space is definitely more spacious and it just feels better.
Yeah.
What's tip number six, Julie?
Number six is to enhance your lighting. So, good lighting can transform a space. So, make sure all the lights are working and consider adding some higher wattage bulbs for new light fixtures, just to brighten up the home itself. Natural light is also key. So, clean your windows, open up the blinds, even the outside of your home. It's like sometimes, like, I'll tell my clients, go back at night, go back during the weekend, see if it's busy, see if there's kids running around. Like, so maybe at night when a guy drive, when they drive by, they're like, oh my gosh, look at how cute the house looks. It's perfect. Exactly what we're looking for.
Great idea. And, the other tip I'll throw in there is all the light colors should be the same. So if you're doing daylight, it should be daylight throughout the house. If you're doing warm white, it should be warm white throughout the house. These little nuances is what's going to make a difference in a buyer's mind, even though they don't realize it.
That's a
So
great way
great
to think
idea,
about it.
Julie, on the
Jeez.
well-lit spaces
Yeah,
and
that's a
making the
great
home
way.
more
I've never heard
attractive.
that with all the colors of the lights, but it definitely makes sense. I guess you don't really think about that. So, your
No,
seventh
you
tip.
don't. And that's why you hire a professional because we think about these things.
Yes. See? So your seventh tip is going to be to make minor repairs. So fix things like leaky faucets, squeaky doors, chip paint. So these minor repairs can make a big difference on how buyers perceive the condition of your home and less work for them to do when they move in. When they see all these little things, they're like, oh, there's so much work to be done, even though it's maybe something that'll take a half a day or $50 to do for you to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Those little items do add up because really what you don't want the buyer to do is start looking and commenting, oh, we have to change out that faucet too. We have to do this too. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's another expense. We want to take all of that off of their minds so they look at the home and they envision themselves living there without a lot of work or expense coming into it. It's those little things that count. Julie, tip number 8.
Okay, number 8 is stage your home. So I know we chatted on it earlier, but professional staging can actually help showcase your home's best features and create that welcoming environment. If hiring a professional isn't in your budget, there are also plenty of DIY staging tips that can help your home look its best. And I'll let Athena dive into it. I'm sure she will. You can do it online too. So when they're looking at those pictures, it gives them an idea of where their space can be before they even get to your house.
Yeah, absolutely, Julie. Staging can really help buyers imagine themselves there. And I am going to take a quick moment since you teed it up that way. Vacant space is hard for buyers. We've had that in our statistic. I brought it in a couple of times. Only 19% of buyers will understand what to do with that vacant space, whether it's a master bedroom or a kitchen area leading onto a dining space. They need to envision. So either virtual staging, which is excellent from a marketing perspective online. 95% of buyers come to a house based on online. So virtual staging is a must when it comes to the most important vacant rooms in the house. Other than that, physical staging, absolutely, Julie. There are homes and there are requirements at times where physical staging is a must. And we'll definitely do a podcast on that. But for our purposes today, staging is important in really enhancing the value of the home before
I
it's
would
listed.
I would love to dive into that too because I'm sure the stats are crazy how much more money people make on the sale of the property. It's like, okay, I have all this work to do, or this room looks so big, it's like just offer full price, or God, there's so much work to do in here, just offer 20,000 less. You know what I mean? I'd love to hear those stats.
Yeah.
But I'll dive into tip number 9, which is upgrade your landscaping. This includes things like, again, we kind of chatted about it before, new flowers, trimming bushes, decorative elements. That well landscaped yard can add significant value and appeal to your home.
Yeah, absolutely. What about the mailbox, Julie? There's so many times you drive up to a home and the mailbox is tilted or dirty. Clean the mailbox. Make sure your garden path, the path from the street to your front door is immaculate. This is what the buyers are looking at as they leave their car to come to your front door that you just painted and put new hardware on. These are small items, but they're so important.
Yeah,
A beautiful garden can make a
buyers think of the funniest things too. I remember like I had a buyer that said, "Hey, can you come with me? I don't know if this house is going to be perfect for us or whatever." And there was a mailbox that was kind of hanging off a little bit. They're like, "Oh, the kids in this neighborhood must be terrors because look, they obviously hit that mailbox." And I'm like, "What?" Like, how do you think of that? Like buyers think of the craziest things, so don't let their minds go. Um,
I love that story. Absolutely. What's number 10,
So
Julie?
invest in high energy efficient upgrades. So people love that now. Things like new windows, better installation, or even as little as like a program, like a thermostat that you can program that can make your home more attractive to buyers looking for those energy savings. So those upgrades can also help justify asking for that higher asking price.
Great idea. I love that. And again, we don't want somebody to go in and just invest in appliances, but if they have to buy appliances or they're thinking about buying appliances and they're thinking, maybe I'll sell my home in 3, 4 years, make sure you're buying appliances that make sense for your sale. Great idea, Julie. Absolutely. Well, before we wrap up, I want to remind all of our listeners and viewers to go ahead and subscribe and like the show. Julie, those were all fantastic tips. And to wrap up, here's a quick recap of those 10 ways to improve the home value. So let's do this. First, enhance your curb appeal. Refresh your interior paint. Upgrade kitchen and bathroom fixtures. Deep clean your home. Declutter and depersonalize. Enhance lighting. Make minor repairs. Stage your home. Upgrade your landscaping, and lastly, invest in energy efficient upgrades. So, thank you so much for sharing these valuable insights, Julie. I'm sure our listeners and viewers will find these tips incredibly useful, especially as they prepare their homes for the market.
My pleasure.
And thank you to all our listeners and viewers for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, remember to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. Stay tuned for more tips and tricks on home improvement. Until next time, this is Athena signing off from the SoFlo Real Estate Show. Ask Athena and Julie
Bye,
anything.
everyone.
Bye, Julie. Thanks for stopping by.